Hello everyone! It is Sunday, September 9th, and this is the beginning of my reading vlog for the week. I just wanted to touch upon a couple of things that I was doing last week. I was sick last week, still a little sick now, but I was able to do a lot of reading. I didn't do much filming because I was in bed for like the whole week, but I was able to finish The Witch of Willow Hall. I started and finished this last week, and I loved this book. It wasn't exactly like what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be completely, I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but I thought it was going to be completely different than what I read. But I am so happy that I got an advanced reader copy of this because the story is just so well written. There are some unlikable characters in this, which is understandable because there should be likable characters in stories, but this is just, Mom is vacuuming right now. Sorry about the noise. This book was just so good. So I highly recommend this book if anyone is looking for a gothic story, kind of along the lines, like darkness-wise, of like Jane Eyre in a way. It definitely has that like historical fiction gothic vibe to it. I don't know if anyone's read any of Simone St. James' books, but very similar to that, whereas yes, this is about a witch, but it doesn't really go so in-depth about a witch. It's just like us following her life in a certain moment of time, and just like, it was just so good. So definitely pick this up on October 2nd if you are looking for a really good gothic read, historical fiction about a witch in Boston. It's really good, so definitely check that out. And then I'm still reading Kings of the Wild, which I'm having so much fun reading this. I'm more than halfway through now, but this book is just so much fun, so I'm really enjoying this. So I've been kind of like flipping back and forth between the two this week. I'm hoping to finish this week, so that's that. And yeah, so I had received some more books in the mail because while I was sick, I decided to order books on Amazon, which I guess I don't really know what a book buying ban is. I wish I did because I have so many books to read and not enough time to read them. So I had gotten The Sacrifice box in the mail by Martin Stewart, and it seems really good. It was like pitched to me as like a Stephen King, Stranger Things, Breakfast Club like type book, so I'm interested to see what that's about, and I might move that up on my TBR. I also want to be reading my best friend's Exorcism this week. I want to get into that. So I have a lot of books lined up, and I'm hoping to get to all of them. Now officially starting to feel like fall in New Jersey. I don't know how long it's gonna last for. It could definitely go back to 80 degrees this week, but today it's nice and chilly and it's like dark outside, so I have my fall candles lit and I'm reading in bed. It is Sunday morning and I'm just enjoying reading right now. So I'm gonna get back to reading Kings of the Wild. I also wanted to show you guys my new sweatshirt that I have on, and it says Stars Hollow, and this is the fall festival. I had gotten this sweatshirt from a company I found on Instagram called Chock Full of Love, and their stuff is just so cute, and they have so many Gilmore Girls related things. So I had picked this up, and I love the color of the sweatshirt, and it's so big and comfy, and I love it. But the fact that it says Stars Hollow Fall Festival, I am just so excited to be wearing this, and then this is my new favorite sweatshirt. So I will leave a link down below for their website and their Instagram page if you want to check it out for yourself if you too are a Gilmore Girls fan. I feel like the fall isn't the same without a little bit of Gilmore Girls in your life. So yeah, so I'm so excited to be wearing this, and I think I'm gonna they have some mugs, and just like their lettering, their hand lettering is just so beautiful. So I feel like I'm gonna pick up some more things from them. I'm really loving the quality of this sweatshirt and the color of it, and I just really like it. So I'm gonna see how it washes too, because I haven't washed it yet. But yeah, I really love it. I'll be wearing this every day in the fall. Yeah, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave the links down below. Bye. Good morning, everybody. So it is now Monday, September 10th, and of my reading vlog. I continue to read a lot of Kings of the Wild last night. I'm like 65% done with that. It's so much fun. It's a fun book. If you want something like super light in the fantasy world, then Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames is for you. It has all the fantasy elements that I love. My hair is so gross. It has all the fantasy elements that I love in a fantasy book, but it's not so in-depth and it's not so drawn out. So it's a really quick-paced fantasy book. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm going to put it down a little bit today because I am in such a Stephen King mood. I think because it's chilly out, it's raining, we're getting like a little bit of that hurricane. So I'm in the mood for something like dark and, you know, super intense, like a Stephen King book. So I'm reading a little bit of 11/22/63 right now, which it's so big, but I did see the Hulu adaptation for this, and I think that was like one of the best Stephen King adaptations I've ever seen, and I love James Franco, so he did such a great job in that movie, in that TV show. So I'm kind of like skimming through it because I know what happens. Just, you know, the TV show didn't go so in depth into Jake's life as the book does, and you know, it's definitely a really well written book, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for it per se, for like it to be my thing that I'm gonna read all day. I really would love to read Bag of Bones, and I don't own Bag of Bones. So I might venture out to Barnes & Noble and go pick up a paperback of that and read that for the rest of the day. I do have a dentist appointment. I do have to go pick up a donation for an event that I'm having at my job. So I have a couple errands and I'll be near the bookstore. So maybe I'll pop in there and grab the book. I've never read Bag of Bones and I never really was interested in reading it, but I've been seeing it like pop up on my Goodreads and my Instagram feed, so I want to check it out. I want to see what it's about, and I heard it's kind of like a ghost story, so I'm in the mood for it. I will check back in later and let you know if I went to the bookstore. I will talk to you guys later. Hi guys, I'm back. I wanted to show you after all my errands today that I ran, I did go and pick up Bag of Bones by Stephen King. I really love these new covers that they're putting out for all of King's books. I want to collect all of them. I love the fonts. I love the photos on the cover and on the spines. I think they'll look really pretty on my shelf. Yeah, so it's really nice. I'm actually really enjoying Bag of Bones. I'm on page 50. And I'm really loving Mike as a character, and he's a little witty, he's a little dark, he's a little depressed about like what's going on, and he is grieving his wife, which is really sad, especially she died so young. But we're just kind of going through his grieving process right now, and the fact that he has writer's block, and he's trying to dig himself out of that so he could put out more books because his publishers want more books. I do enjoy when Stephen King writes about characters that are writers. For some reason, I think because he himself is a writer, the characters are just so well thought out. So yeah, so I'm really enjoying this, and this is like a ghost story kind of, and it's definitely going to start getting a little bit darker as the pages go on, so I'm really excited to discover that. Typical Stephen King fashion. So yeah. So that's all I'm really doing right now. I have my pumpkin coffee from Starbucks. I don't really get the lattes because I don't like milk. I usually drink almond milk, so it's just like regular coffee with a couple of pumps of pumpkin flavoring and almond milk. And then I have my candy corn, which this is my favorite candy, and I keep it hidden in my room so no one else eats it in my house. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think I eat more of it, which isn't so good. But yeah, so it's gonna keep me company while I'm reading. It's raining out today, and it's gonna be raining out all week. We're supposed to get some, like, the back end of a hurricane by the end of the week. So it's perfect reading weather. Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to reading Bag of Bones. I'm really enjoying it. Kind of put my TBR on a hold for now for September. But like I said, I normally don't stick to my TBRs for the month. I just kind of read as I feel like I want to read. And this morning I had woken up wanting to read Stephen King, so I went and got Bag of Bones since I've never read it before. Hello everyone! So it is now Tuesday, September 11th, and I have not finished reading anything this week yet. But I am like so obsessed with Bag of Bones. I'm on page 100 now. I have to go to work. I probably have like 15 minutes before I have to leave for work, so I might read a little bit more of that. But I'm just so obsessed with the atmosphere that Stephen King has built in this book, and like the slow build up to like the whole story. It's just so good, and I just feel like Mike's pain, and like he doesn't know what's real and what's not real right now, and it's really, really good. Really, really good. I just feel like I'm not going to be able to read anything else besides this week because I'm so involved in the story, and I'm actually going to bring it to work too in case I have like some times where I could just slip away and read a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to get back to reading that. I would really like to finish Kings of the Wild this week, but if I don't, I don't. It's definitely like a story that sticks with you, so like it's not like I'm forgetting things and what's happening. Like I know exactly what's happening in the story right now. I was in the mood for some Stephen King this week. That's really what I needed. So maybe when I get home from work later, maybe I'll read a little bit of Kings of the Wild, a couple of chapters, because those chapters are so short and they go so quick. So it's definitely like a quick, easy read to like get done. I just don't want it to be done because I really love the story. I do have the second book on hand, but I think I might wait until like November to pick up the second book because I have so many books on my fall TBR right now that I would really like to get to. So these two books that I received in the mail yesterday, I ordered on Amazon, which I am so addicted to ordering books on Amazon because number one, they're so cheap. Number two, it comes to your house in like 2 days. And number three, I just love Amazon. So this book is The Wicked, and this is by James Newman. So it looks so creepy. This is like the perfect Halloween cover book that I've ever seen. It's just so cool. It says, "From hell he comes and he wants the children." So it sounds really, really creepy. I'll probably save this for like October, end of September. Next book that I got is Doorbells at Dusk, which if you look at this picture, nothing creeps me out more than a possessed child in any horror film. I can watch any horror film, but once there's like a possessed child, that's it. I'm done. That's what gets me. But this looks really cool, and it's a bunch of like short stories of Halloween night. So I'm so excited to check this out. There's a whole slew of authors in the back. I don't know if anyone really would know any of them unless you read like point horror and like your typical horror books, not like your stuff that you find at Barnes & Noble, but more stuff that you find indie and stuff like that. Josh Malerman, which everyone knows Josh Malerman, he wrote Bird Box, which is a great horror novel. Evan Light, Gregor Zane, Jason Parent, Adam Light, Amber Fallon, Chad Lukes, Curtis M. Lawson, Ian Welk, Joanna Koch, Charles Gramlich, Lisa Lipovetsky, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Thomas Vaughn, Sean Eads, and Joshua Viola. So if anyone's heard of these authors and you're interested, definitely they have this on Amazon. It just came out. I want to say it just came out in August, like August 28th or something like that. And it's in paperback, like floppy paperback. But I feel like this would be like the perfect short story collection for October. You know, read every night. Get ready for Halloween. Spook yourself out a little bit. I did pick up R.L. Stein's Scream and Scream Again. And me and my boyfriend we were reading it the other night together. And it's so young. So like I thought it would give me more of like the Goosebumps feels, but it's okay. I'm not like loving it. So I feel like I need more like super spooky, and I think this is gonna give me that. So Hello everyone. So it is now Friday, September 14th, I think. Yes, September 14th. I'm on page 250 of Bag of Bones. I haven't been reading anything else but Bag of Bones this week because I really wanted to absorb the story. I think I need to take a break from it. It's a little heavy. It's pretty deep. You know, Mike is definitely being haunted either by ghosts or by himself. I mean, a lot of it is by himself. You know, a lot of things that have been bothering him. And he's finding out secrets about his dead wife. So it's pretty interesting. He is now at his vacation home up in Maine due to his writer's block. He felt like maybe if he went up there he'd be a little bit more inspired to write something. But while up there he meets this girl who has a daughter, and it kind of touches his heart a little bit, her story, and he's starting to fall for her and he's starting to like fantasize about her. The problem with Mike is that he really can't tell the difference between like what's real and what's not right now, and that's really the creep factor in this book. His dreams are super vivid, they're super crazy, the things that he is dreaming about, and he wakes up and he feels like they were super real. So we'll see how this goes. I am not disappointed whatsoever. This story is amazing so far. It's just a lot because we're focusing on Mike's story and we're focusing on Maddie's life and her story, and they're intertwining right now because Mike has decided to help Maddie with a difficult thing that she is going through right now, and he feels really connected to the little girl who's her daughter. So we shall see how it plays out for the rest of the weekend. I'm hoping to finish it. I'm like halfway through now. And I'm gonna bring it to work with me today if I have some downtime to read a little bit. So I haven't really read much else. I still have Kings of the Wild on the back burner right now with 3/4 of it done. So hopefully I can get to that a little bit so I could just finish it and be done with it, so I could start my books for Contemporary-thon without having to worry about finishing other books that I had started. And I did post my Contemporary-thon video, so I'll leave a link somewhere in this video for you guys to check that out to see what I'm going to be reading. And I will be vlogging as well next week of my reading experience for that. So many books, so little time. I feel like I had bought so many books this year and I just want to read them all and I can't. And like every day I have a different mood and I want to read something else, but I can't read a book a day. Like, it's just not realistic for me. I'll check back in later. I have to go to work now. This week's been pretty busy, so I haven't really had much downtime for myself. I've been just kind of like constantly going. I had to film videos, trying to read, have to have, you know, social life on the side, see my boyfriend and like my family and stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, I am in the process of cutting bangs. Even though I'm a hairdresser, I am so anxious about cutting hair because I've had so many bad haircuts in my life that I'm very anxious when I get my hair cut. So these are a little bit long right now. I really want them a little bit shorter and a little bit more blended. I want that Bridget Bardot look with a bang. So thinking about bringing them like right about here. So I'm gonna have one of my friends cut them when I get to work later, and hopefully I don't freak out, because I freak out when I cut bangs, and every time I cut bangs I want to grow them out. But I do really like the way I look with bangs because my hair is so thin. I just feel like it gives me a little bit more something, like a little bit more volume in the front of my hair. So once I get my bangs cut, maybe I'll make a video to show you guys how I style my hair with bangs and what products I use to keep them looking perfect. Let me know if you want to see a video, any hair videos of, you know, styling and stuff like that. I would love to show you some of the things that I do on a daily basis. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hello everybody. So I cut bangs. Hey. I love it. So it's now Sunday, September 16th. I didn't do much reading yesterday. I had a really rough day at work. I slept through my alarm. I woke up at the time of my first appointment, so I was literally like scrambling to get to work. I ran behind all day. It was just one of those days that just didn't go the way that you want it to. But I pushed through, I made it through, and I came home and I took like the longest nap of my life. I don't know, I've been so tired lately. Like I feel so worn out, and I don't know if anyone else has been feeling that way, but I just feel so exhausted. I don't know if it's like the change of season or whatever the case. I've just been feeling like, So I didn't really do much reading yesterday. I did watch some TV. I watched like some old stupid movie called The Covenant. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. It was a favorite movie of mine like 10 years ago. Then watching it now, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing, but super entertaining at the same time. So that was on Netflix. Been kind of binging Vampire Diaries. I've been falling back into that. It's one of my favorite TV shows, and I just can't help myself. I ship Damon and Elena so hard, so I've been watching that. So I decided to read a little bit this morning. I am on chapter 18 of Bag of Bones, which it got so crazy. I never hated an old man so much in my life. And if anyone's read this book, you know what I'm talking about, especially at this point in the story. I feel so bad for Mike. I just can't believe he's going through all of this. I almost hope at the end of this it's all a dream, because this poor guy is going through so much shit. And it's so dark and disturbing, and I don't know, I feel so bad. And I finished Kings of the Wild, which I absolutely love that story. It was just it was like a lighthearted fantasy. It was so much fun to read. There was like every element of fantasy you could possibly imagine in this book. It was so good. So if you're looking for like a lighthearted fantasy, and it's so funny, like the comedy was written so well, and the way, like the little jabs that they would take at each other, it was just so much fun to read. So if you're interested in Kings of the Wild, I definitely think you should pick it up. And the second book is out now, so I did pick that up, and I'm hoping to read that probably the end of October, beginning of November. I want to get all my spooky books in from this point to October, and then November I'll leave for fantasy, December fantasy, and all that stuff. I am participating in Contemporary-a-thon. It is something that I normally wouldn't read. I don't really read contemporary books often, and if I do, it's like a spooky contemporary or something that has to do with the supernatural in this day and age, with, you know, some romance and stuff like that. But I'm not a huge fan of romance, so I'm stepping out of my box, and I am doing Contemporary-a-thon this week, so I will be vlogging all of that experience as well. I think I picked a nice, like a good group of books that will keep me entertained all week, and I don't think I'm going to DNF any of them. I think they're all going to be like pretty high up there in ratings for me, so I'm super excited for that. Yeah, so that's about my day. It is now like 2:45, so I'm gonna go run some errands. I might stop at the bookstore, because I did get a 20% off coupon from Barnes & Noble, and not that that's a big deal or anything, because you can get books cheap on Amazon, but I just want to go like buy something maybe and just get out for a little. It's like our first sunny, nice day in New Jersey in a while, so I just want to be out and about today. And yeah, so I'll read some more later. I definitely want to read more of Bag of Bones tonight, so I can get most of it out of the way before Contemporary-a-thon starts tomorrow. And yeah, so I think that's about it. I have to catch up on Shameless, because that premiered last week. Walking Dead's coming out in 3 weeks. I'm curious to see how that season's gonna go. I have to catch up on Supernatural. I totally slacked last season, so I have so much of that to catch up on. And what else am I? Oh, I've been watching The Mayans, which I don't know if anybody else is Sons of Anarchy fans. I am a huge fan of the show. I love Jax Teller, and Mayans is pretty good. I mean, it's completely different than Sons, but it's still like the motorcycle gang. But we're getting a glimpse at the Mayans and like what goes on in their territory and stuff like that, and Mexico and all the stuff that's happening over there. So that's pretty cool. And American Horror Story, which the first episode, the ending was unbelievable, and if anyone else had caught that ending like I did, and I know who that guy is, please comment down below. I want to talk about it with you. This show, I really have high hopes for this season. I think it's going to be really good. I was not a fan of last season or the season before that. I don't do well with cannibalism, and in this new season there is a little bit of that, like in the first episode, but it didn't like irk me as much as Roanoke did. I just hated that it like turned into a movie. It was just like the weirdest freaking season ever of American Horror Story. But this new season, season 8, is a combination of Murder House, the characters are coming back from that, and Coven, which are my 2 favorite American Horror Story seasons. So I have high hopes for it. I hope it is exactly what I want it to be. Yeah, so if anyone else is watching American Horror Story and loves it as much as I do, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on Twitter. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. I want to know what you guys are watching this fall, what you're excited for. I had seen the new trailer for Sabrina, which is like, I don't know, it's not Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it's like the dark and whatever. It's by the producers of Riverdale. So, or the creators of Riverdale. So I am so stoked for it. That trailer is amazing. Like a dark Sabrina the Teenage Witch is exactly what I need for October. So I can't wait to binge that when that comes out. I want to say that's October 12th or like around that time or something like that. So anyway, sorry for all my rambling. I'm just super excited that it's sunny out today. I have a lot of energy for once, because the last couple weeks I did not have much energy, and I'm excited to read and watch television, my 2 favorite things to do besides having to go to work. So let me know what you guys are reading, what you guys are watching. I want to know everything, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. This is going to be the end of my reading vlog for this week. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!